Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive, and this time we're going to be tackling bone biology.
A topic that's pretty fundamental for any orthopedic surgeon out there.
Absolutely. Whether you're gearing up for your FRCS exams or just looking to brush up on the basics, this one's for you.
And to make sure we're covering all the essential details, we'll be referencing some excellent notes called Ortho Made Simple,
Created by none other than Dr. Mokyingren,
a sports surgeon from National University Hospital in Singapore.
who aced his own FRCS exams back in 2022.
So you know we're in good hands.
Now, when we think about bone, it's easy to picture this kind of static, unchanging structure, right?
Like a scaffold,
Exactly. But the reality is far more dynamic. Bone is a living tissue.
constantly remodeling, repairing, and responding to the demands we place on it.
And that's what makes it so fascinating. So let's start with the basics. What are the key components that make up this incredible material?
Well, just like any well-engineered structure, bone needs a strong foundation.
And that foundation is called
The matrix.
the matrix. And this matrix makes up the bulk of the bone, right?
Around 90%, to be precise.
Wow, that's a significant portion. So what exactly is this matrix made of?
It's a clever combination of both inorganic and organic materials.
A bit like reinforced concrete, I imagine.
Exactly. You need both strength and flexibility to withstand all the forces bone encounters. So, on the inorganic side, we have calcium hydroxyapatite.
Ah, calcium. That makes sense. Isn't that what gives bone its hardness?
Exactly. Calcium hydroxyapatite provides that compressive strength, the ability to resist crushing or squeezing forces.
Okay, so that's like the concrete in our building analogy.
Right, but just like concrete needs steel rebar for tensile strength, bone needs something to give it that bend and flexibility.
So what's the rebar in this case?
That would be type 1 collagen, the main organic component of the bone matrix.
Collagen. I knew that sounded familiar. So collagen provides that tensile strength, allowing bone to withstand stretching and bending forces without snapping.
Precisely. It's this intricate interplay between the inorganic and organic components that gives bone its remarkable properties.
This is already making me appreciate bone on a whole new level.
It's quite remarkable, isn't it? But we've only just scratched the surface.
Right. We've talked about the matrix, which makes up the bulk of the bone. But what about the other 10%? What's happening there?
Ah, that's where we find the bone cells, the real workforce behind this incredible structure.
The workers. Now, I vaguely remember learning about different types of bone cells back in med school.
Osteoblasts, osteocytes, and osteoclasts.
Right. But a refresher would be great, especially as we're focusing on those all-important orthopedic exams.
Absolutely. So let's start with the osteoblasts.
The builders, if you will.
Exactly. Osteoblasts are responsible for synthesizing and secreting the organic components of the bone matrix.
So they're the ones laying down that collagen framework we talked about.
They're the construction crew, building new bone tissue as we grow or repair injuries.
Fascinating. And once they've done their job, what happens to these osteoblasts?
Well, some of them will become trapped within the matrix they've created.
Trapped.
In a sense, yes, they differentiate into osteocytes.
Osteocytes. Now, these cells are kind of mysterious, aren't they?
They're often called the living cells of bone because they reside within the bone matrix, occupying small spaces called lacunae.
So they're like the building managers, keeping an eye on things from within.
That's a great analogy. They're constantly monitoring the bone's health, sensing mechanical stresses, and signaling for remodeling when needed.
Okay, so they're not just passively sitting there. They're actively involved in maintaining bone integrity.
Absolutely. And they're also involved in mineral metabolism, helping regulate calcium and phosphate levels.
Wow, so these osteocytes are pretty important players in the bone world.
Absolutely. And then we have the third type of bone cell, the osteoclasts.
The demolition crew.
You got it. Osteoclasts are responsible for breaking down bone tissue, a process called bone resorption.
And why is that necessary? Why do we need to break down bone?
Well, it's all part of that constant remodeling process we talked about earlier. Old or damaged bone needs to be removed to make way for new, healthy bone tissue.
So it's like a continuous cycle of demolition and reconstruction.
Precisely. And osteoclasts play a crucial role in maintaining this balance.
I'm starting to see how all these different cell types work together to keep our bones strong and healthy.
It's a beautifully orchestrated system, isn't it?
It really is. Now, speaking of bone, it's not all just one uniform material, right? We have different types of bone, each with its own unique property.
Absolutely. We can broadly classify bone as immature or mature.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Immature bone, also called woven bone, is what we see in early development or during fracture healing.
So it's kind of like the initial rapid response to a bone injury.
Exactly. It's characterized by a more haphazard arrangement of collagen fibers, giving it a woven appearance under the microscope.
And as the bone
It
matured,
becomes more organized, forming what we call lamellar bone.
lamellar bone. And this is the type of bone we typically see in adults.
Right. Lamellar bone is further divided into two main types: cortical bone and cancellous bone.
Ah, yes. Cortical bone, the dense, hard outer layer, and cancellous bone, the spongy stuff inside.
Precisely. Cortical bone, also known as compact bone, forms the outer shell of most bones, providing that structural support and protection we need.
So it's like the walls of our building, strong and resistant to bending.
Exactly. And if you look at cortical bone under a microscope, you'll see these cylindrical units called osteons.
Osteons.
They're the basic structural units of cortical bone, each consisting of concentric layers of bone matrix called lamellae, arranged around a central canal.
So each osteon is like a tiny pillar, providing support and strength to the overall structure.
That's a great way to visualize it. And those central canals contain blood vessels and nerves, supplying nutrients and keeping the bone tissue alive.
It's amazing how everything is so interconnected.
It really is. But here's an interesting fact that might come in handy for your exams.
Oh, I'm all ears.
Those cement lines between the osteons, the ones that hold them together, are actually considered weak points.
Wait, really? Why is that?
Well, they're areas where cracks can initiate, potentially leading to a fracture.
So it's like a fault line running through an otherwise incredibly strong structure.
That's a great analogy. And this is just one example of the many fascinating details you'll find in these ortho-made simple notes.
They're truly a treasure trove of information. Now, we've talked about cortical bone, the strong outer layer. But what about cancellous bone? What's its role in all of this?
Cancellous bone, also known as spongy bone, is found within the interior of bones.
So it's like the interior framework of our building.
Exactly. And unlike the dense, compact structure of cortical bone, cancellous bone has a more porous, honeycomb-like appearance.
I'm picturing a network of interconnected beams and struts, providing support while also being lightweight.
You're spot on. Those beams, called trabeculae, are arranged along lines of stress.
So they're strategically positioned to provide strength where it's needed most.
Exactly. And because of its porous nature, cancellous bone is also lighter than cortical bone, which is important for overall scalar mobility.
It's like bone has evolved to be both strong and lightweight, adapting to the specific needs of each part of the skeleton.
Precisely. It's a testament to the incredible design and functionality of this remarkable tissue.
This is all so fascinating. I feel like I'm rediscovering bone all over again.
It's quite a journey, isn't it? And we've only just begun to explore its complexities.
Right. We've laid the groundwork, understanding the basic components and different types of bone, but there's still so much more to discover.
Absolutely. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll delve into the fascinating process of bone remodeling, where we'll see how these different cell types work together to maintain bone health throughout our lives.
I can't wait. So if you're enjoying this deep dive, be sure to tune in for part 2, where we'll uncover even more secrets of bone biology. See you there.
I'm looking forward to it. Welcome back, everyone, to our deep dive into bone biology, all curated from the amazing Ortho Made Simple notes over at mokyingren.sg.
That's right. And we're about to tackle one of the most crucial processes in bone health.
A process that's constantly happening beneath the surface, even as we speak.
Bone remodeling. It sounds pretty intense. What exactly is going on here?
Well, imagine your bones are like a city.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Lots of buildings, streets, infrastructure.
And just like any city, there's always construction and demolition going on.
Old buildings being torn down, new ones going up, repairs happening all the time.
Exactly. Bone remodeling is that constant cycle of breaking down old bone tissue and replacing it with new bone.
And why do we need this constant renovation?
For a few reasons. Firstly, it helps repair those tiny microfractures that occur in our bones every day just from normal wear and tear.
So it's like the city's maintenance crew, patching up cracks in the pavement and fixing leaky pipes.
Right. Secondly, remodeling helps maintain calcium balance in the body.
Because bone is like a calcium bank, right?
Precisely. Bone stores a massive amount of calcium, and remodeling helps release calcium into the bloodstream when needed.
Okay, that makes sense. And lastly, remodeling helps our bones adapt to the stresses we place on them.
Like that Wolff's Law we talked about earlier, if you put more stress on a bone, it remodels to become stronger in that area.
So it's like the city planners deciding to reinforce a bridge that's carrying a lot of traffic.
You got it. Now, this whole remodeling process is actually quite complex, involving a series of carefully orchestrated steps.
Steps, like a dance routine for bone cells.
You could say that. There are 5 main stages: activation, resorption, reversal, formation, and termination.
Wow, that's quite a process. Can we break it down a bit?
Sure, it all starts with activation.
What triggers this activation?
A variety of things, actually. It could be mechanical stress on the bone.
Like from exercise or just everyday activity?
Exactly. Or it could be hormonal signals, like when calcium levels in the blood are low.
And this triggers the bone to start remodeling.
Right. Once activated, we move into the resorption phase.
Time for the demolition crew.
That's right. This is where those osteoclasts we talked about earlier come into play.
The big bone-eating cells.
Precisely. They attach to the bone surface and release enzymes that break down the bone matrix.
So it's like they're clearing out the old, damaged building to make way for a new one.
Exactly. And after resorption comes the reversal phase.
A pause in the action.
Not quite a pause, but a transition. This is where the demolition work winds down, and the site is prepped for new bone formation.
Like laying the foundation for the new building.
Right. And during this phase, the osteoclasts actually recruit the osteoblasts, the bone builders, to the site.
So even the demolition crew plays a role in the rebuilding process.
It's all very well coordinated. And then comes the formation phase.
Time for the construction to begin.
Exactly. The osteoblasts move in and start laying down new bone matrix, a soft, unmineralized substance called osteoid.
It's like pouring the concrete for the new building.
And over time, this osteoid becomes mineralized, hardening into that strong, rigid bone we all know and love.
And that brings us to the final stage, termination.
The grand finale. This is where the remodeling process comes to an end, and the new bone is fully integrated into the existing structure.
So it's like the ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new building. Everything's complete and ready to go.
And remember, this entire cycle, from activation to termination, is constantly happening throughout our skeleton.
Millions of tiny construction projects going on all the time.
It's truly remarkable, and it's all beautifully orchestrated by a complex interplay of hormones and signaling molecules.
Hormones. We talked about calcium signaling earlier. What other hormones are involved in bone remodeling?
Well, vitamin D plays a crucial role.
Vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin.
That's the one. It helps our bodies absorb calcium from our diet, which is essential for bone mineralization.
So without enough vitamin D, our bones wouldn't be able to harden properly.
Exactly. And then there's parathyroid hormone, or PTH for short.
PTH, wasn't that involved in calcium regulation too?
It is. When calcium levels in the blood are low, PTH is released, and it actually stimulates osteoclast activity.
So it tells the demolition crew to go to work and release more calcium from the bone.
Exactly. And on the flip side, we have calcitonin, a hormone produced by the thyroid gland.
And calcitonin does the opposite.
Right. It inhibits osteoclast activity, helping to lower calcium levels in the blood when they're too high.
It's like a delicate balancing act, these hormones working together to keep calcium levels just right.
Precisely. And all of this intricate dance of bone cells and hormones, is what keeps our bones strong and healthy throughout our lives.
This is blowing my mind. I never realized how dynamic and responsive bone tissue really is.
It's quite amazing, isn't it? And it all comes down to these fundamental principles of bone biology, which are so crucial for any aspiring orthopedic surgeon to understand.
And that's why these Ortho-Made Simple Notes are such a valuable resource.
They break down these complex processes into clear, concise explanations, making it easier to grasp the key concepts.
I couldn't agree more. So if you're finding this deep dive helpful, be sure to stick around for part 3, where we'll explore the many functions of bone beyond just structure.
We'll delve into how bone plays a crucial role in mineral storage, blood cell production, and even hormone regulation.
It's going to be another fascinating journey into the world of bone biology. Stay tuned. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into bone biology.
Still going strong with the help of Dr. Mock's Ortho-Made Simple Notes from mokyingren.sg.
Always a fantastic resource. Now, we've talked about the structure of bone, the different types of bone cells, and that incredible remodeling process.
It's pretty amazing how much is going on beneath the surface, isn't it?
It really is. But bone isn't just about providing structure and support, right? It has other important functions, too.
Absolutely. Bone plays a crucial role in a number of physiological processes.
Like what? Give us the rundown.
Well, for starters, bone is a major storage site for calcium and phosphate.
Ah, the calcium bank we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Those minerals are essential for a whole range of bodily functions, from muscle contraction to nerve transmission.
So bone acts like a reservoir, releasing those minerals into the bloodstream when needed.
Precisely. And it's all carefully regulated by those hormones we discussed, like PTH and calcitonin, keeping everything in balance.
Amazing.
What else?
Well, bone also houses the bone marrow.
The stuff that makes our blood cells.
You got it. Bone marrow is responsible for producing red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, all essential components of our blood.
So it's like a blood cell factory operating within our bones.
That's a great way to put it. And this function, known as hematopoiesis, is vital for maintaining our overall health and immune system.
Wow, bone is really a multitasking marvel. Any other hidden talents we should know about?
Well, bone also plays a role in hormone regulation.
Hormones. I thought that was the job of glands like the pituitary and thyroid.
It is, but bone cells, particularly osteocytes, actually produce a hormone called FGF23. What does that do? It helps regulate phosphate levels in the blood, working in concert with those other hormones we talked about earlier.
So it's all interconnected, this intricate network of hormones and cells working together to maintain balance in the body.
Exactly. It's a beautiful example of how different systems within the body cooperate to keep everything functioning smoothly.
This is really making me appreciate the complexity of bone biology.
It's a fascinating field, and there's still so much we're learning about it.
And as orthopedic surgeons, understanding these fundamental principles is crucial for providing the best possible care for our patients.
Absolutely. Whether we're treating fractures, managing osteoporosis, or dealing with any other bone-related condition, knowing how bone works at the cellular and molecular level is essential.
And that's where resources like Dr. Marswortho Made Simple Notes come in.
They provide that concise yet comprehensive overview of bone biology that every orthopedic resident needs.
Couldn't agree more. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, I have to say I'm truly impressed by the versatility of bone.
It's more than just a structural support system.
It's a calcium bank, a blood cell factory, a hormone regulator, and so much more.
It's a dynamic, living tissue that plays a vital role in our overall health and well-being.
And I think it's safe to say that we've all gained a newfound appreciation for this remarkable material.
I hope so. It's certainly been an enlightening journey for me.
A huge thanks to Dr. Mock for providing these incredible notes.
And a big thank you to all our listeners for joining us on this deep dive into bone biology.
Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to your orthopedic exams and your future as a surgeon.
Keep those brains engaged and those bones healthy.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.